y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, oh. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that.
Good afternoon, Jets Nation. Welcome to the Jets Duo Show. I'm your host, Jude, joined by my co-host, Italy Jet. How's it going, man?
Man, it's boom. That's why I say boom.
Boom.
It's been a really interesting day. And it's been an interesting draft. And I can't wait to dive right on into it.
So let's go ahead and dive right into it. First thing on the agenda is, of course, the NFL draft. Draft was last week. For all you guys know, whether it be through the YouTube videos you watch, whether it be if you watch the NFL draft yourself, maybe you even attended it yourself, the NFL draft was last week. And the New York Jets made 7 selections in the draft. And there were a couple surprising picks. There were a couple good value picks. There were a couple bad picks, good picks, in many different people's eyes. A lot of opinions varying this New York Jets draft. But Italy Jet, we want to hear your opinion on the NFL draft. What was your thoughts on the New York Jets 2023 class?
Man, I give it a B. I give it a B. That's what I'm giving a B. A lot of surprises, a lot of interesting things that happened this draft. You know, we were either going to get a running back or an O-lineman at 15, and then we tried to trade down at 15 as well. Just didn't work out. Those fucking Patriots, I fucking hate you. I'm sorry for the F word. But it's just, I hate them so much. And they screwed us a little bit. Just saying.
Yeah.
Will McDonald, I like the pick. It's growing on me. He was in my top 10. He was not in my top 5. He's bendy. He's strong. He doesn't have the height, but he gets results. He had a really good year with Iowa State. He played with Breece Hall the year before. Like I said, I think he's going to be a very solid pick in the future, but he definitely was not on my radar as a top 5. But I think with his versatility and his football IQ, Saleh loves those edge guys, and so does Joe Douglas. But I think this was a solid pick, in my opinion. So I like that. And all the other ones, Kuntz is going to be the one that's going to be really intriguing because he could probably fit at wide receiver or he could probably fit at tight end. But he is listed as tight end. But I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, you got Uzama, you got Conklin, you got Rucker now. You know, Kenny Yeboah is going to be here, and I don't know. Yeboah could probably beat out Kuntz. I don't know. Or Kuntz can beat out him. But you have a 6'7" dude that's coming in as a chip on his shoulder because of injury last year. He would have gone in the first 3 rounds if he wasn't injured. But he went to the 7th round and we picked him, and I'm glad we did. And Izzy, oh my God, Izzy. You know what? That guy's going to be running back too. People are thinking I'm crazy, but I like his edge. Bam Knight is a great running back. Carter, you're a guy in the background. I know how much you love Carter, how much you're going to defend him, and that's okay. I'm going to defend my boy, Corey Davis, as well, so I totally understand that. I know. Here we go. Oh, I wonder if it can fit. Oh, look at that. It fits. Anyways, so it's really cool to see what Izzy can bring to this table. He's very short. He's not good in the wide receiver game, but he's bulky. He's very, very bulky. Sorry, he's not short. He's pretty tall. My bad. But he's a Brooklyn boy. He's staying home. I love that. Warren Carter. It's Warren Carter, right? Or is it Carter Warren?
Carter Warren. See, I
keep getting that stuff mixed up. But he's from Jersey. I like that he's from Jersey, but he was nowhere near my radar. Like I said, top 10, not top 5. So his injuries definitely got him down lower and lower, just like Washington when he was with the Steelers. Darnell Washington, because he went Steelers, because of his injury history with his knee. That's why he went the round he went. And a lot of these guys are going to be sneaky. They're going to be really interesting. Barnes is going to be really key. Maybe special teams, maybe might be a star in a year, or it could just blow everybody away in training camp. I don't know. But the guy that I'm looking at more that I makes so much sense for the Jets is not a draft pick. It's an undrafted pick. Dean out of Florida Gators. I wanted him. He was my top 7. I think it's
We
sneaky.
mocked him too a lot.
We did. I like it. Oh my gosh, if he can blow it out of the water in training camp, I would love it. But I do like the draft picks that we got. It's like, not really a big surprise boom, but my favorite one out of all of them is Joe Tittman. Tittman is the guy I wanted. I did not want Whippler, and I did not want
John Michael.
JMS. I didn't want him. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I just can't. I just didn't want him. The guy we got from LSU, your boy. I know how much you love this guy. So he's the look at that grin on your face. You're so happy. He's like a kid in a candy store. He's actually a kid too, so it's actually pretty funny. Nah, man, I think he's growing on me a little bit. I think he's very versatile. It's D-back. He can play corner and safety. He's tried, free safety before, but isn't he? He's more of a strong safety, right? Or is he more of a free safety? Because he was because he's a cornerback. He's
right.
cornerback.
I would say free safety because I didn't know much
Yeah.
about him at Oklahoma State. I just knew he came into LSU.
Yeah, that's right.
He became that cornerback, and he was a solid cornerback.
He did dabble though in both positions at Oklahoma. So, hey, yeah, I mean he's very versatile. I think it's going to be a good one eventually though. But Barnes, like I said, you don't know what you're going to get, but I think he could be a good future pick. And then thank God we did not get a QB or a punter or a kicker. That's a good thing for the Jets.
Right.
So, but overall, I think it's a solid B with the draft.
And now that the New York Jets have most of the roster set, heading into the draft, the New York Jets, we had positions of need. We kind of needed an offensive tackle. We needed an offensive tackle. We needed some interior defensive line help. We needed safety help. We needed another linebacker. But then the rumors of Quan started to happen, and then we were like, okay, we're going to get Quan Alexander now. But the draft, this draft happened, and we weren't, expecting to bring in like 5 new starters like we did last year, or like we were in previous drafts. This wasn't a draft where the New York Jets were going to fill all these holes in the roster. This is a draft that was meant to address future picks. And I feel like a lot of people were mad that the New York Jets didn't go out and get all the best big name players available, all the guys that were mocked there, and they're all their PFN, PFF mock drafts, all the guys that they wanted. And a lot of people are like, oh, this draft was so underwhelming. Joe Douglas is overrated. But I feel like a lot of people had so high expectations heading into this draft class when the picks we had this year and the picks we had last year could not equal the same amount of success. Like last year we had back-to-back, we had both offensive and defensive rookie of the year. Defensive rookie of the year was 4th overall pick. Offensive was 10th overall pick. New York Jets didn't have a pick until 15 in this year's NFL draft. And last year, we had 4 picks within the top 40. The New York Jets had 1 pick within the top 40 this year. And more than half of our selections came after round 4 this year. Well, last year, the New York Jets didn't even have a single pick after round 4. And the New York Jets might have 2, maybe 1 draftee that doesn't even make the final 53-man roster.
Right.
There's a chance that we cut some of the players the New York Jets drafted, opposed to last year, where we knew all these guys are going to make the final 53 and make some type of impact in their first year with the team. So this year's draft was just meant to get depth guys, pieces for our future, and I felt like the New York Jets did an excellent job of that. We got ourselves a beast of a starting center in the future in Joe Tittman. Will McDonald, he's kind of the surprise pick of the draft, but Will McDonald's a fantastic pass rusher. If he can add on some bulk, and then maybe we can see about him being a run stuffer in the future, a run stopper, a guy that can set the edge. But as now, he has an extremely high upside as a pass rusher, a guy that could be putting up Hassan Reddick numbers in 2 to 3 years.
I agree, 100%.
I mean, that's the type of pass rusher he is. A guy that I kind of compare him to is Yannick Ngakoue, 2 kind of undersized edge rushers who specialize in pass rushing. Yannick Ngakoue puts up around 10 sacks a year. Will McDonald could definitely be like him. So I feel like Will McDonald's definitely a pick that's going to, end out. And like you said, the dude can jump over cars. He's a defensive
bendy, very bendy.
Very big. He can jump over cars, which is excellent to see. He did say he retired jumping over cars because he wants to jump over offensive tackles. So wouldn't be surprised if he's hurdling Mekhi Becton in training camp to get a sack on Aaron Rodgers, Who knows what's going to happen? So the first 2 picks, I like. Definitely guys is going to have huge impacts in the future. Carter Warren was an interesting pick because I didn't expect the New York Jets to go with the offensive tackle after, we didn't get one in round 1 or round 2, just because I thought it would make the depth clunky, and the New York Jets already had that future piece in Max Mitchell. But now we go ahead and get another future piece in Carter Warren, a guy that a lot of people are saying is already pro-ready, would have been a day 2 selection if he didn't tear his meniscus in his final year in college. He's 24 years old, not the best run blocker. Well, what you read on him is very subjective, because some people are saying this dude's a fantastic run blocker, while other people are saying he's not the best run blocking, and the same thing goes for the pass protection. He seems like a guy that can do both, and he has a lot of experience at blocking the pass at Pittsburgh and those true pass sets, which is the thing that makes him pro-ready, while these analysts are saying he's pro-ready. So I really like the Carter Warren pick. Definitely a guy that we can develop in the future, be a potential starting tackle. And that also could potentially close the door on Mekhi Becton returning, especially because I'm a huge Mekhi Becton fan, wearing his jersey right now. But it's just, if the New York Jets take, Carter Warren, we took Max Mitchell, 4th round back-to-back draft. Seems like we have a plan for at least one of them, maybe both, to be a starter. Depends on how Mekhi Becton plays this year, but Warren can definitely be a nice starter for the Jets in the potential future, or maybe even a guy that could be a backup for us. But definitely just a solid pick right there. Israel Abikanita, and the dude's a stud. We got ourselves a solid running back, too, a nice guy that can complement Breece Hall. And Joe Douglas loves him some running backs. He's took one every year in the NFL draft. And I hope this doesn't mean the end of my boy Michael Carter, but I think he proves a lot of people wrong in training camp this year and reclaims a spot for running back, too. And we'll have Israel Abikanita as a nice running back 3. Not too high on Bam Knight, as a lot of people are. But, yeah, definitely think the New York Jets have a nice running back rotation with Breece Hall, Michael Carter, and Abikanita. Zaire Barnes was an interesting pick because no one really knew much about him, but he's a linebacker that can play special teams. He's athletic. He's fast. Definitely a developmental pick, but will make his impact on special teams this year. Jarek Bernard Converse, versatile defensive back, my boy from LSU, picked off the 1st overall pick, Bryce Young, in the red zone last year in the Alabama-LSU game when LSU got that dub.
Yeah,
when LSU
shut up.
won.
Shut up.
And he single-handedly was the reason we won the game without particularly winning enough money. That type of thing.
Yeah, whatever.
But Jack Bernard Converse, he's definitely a stud of a player. He has experience at safety, at cornerback. Interesting to see where the New York Jets play him, because he could be a guy that could start week 1 for the New York Jets. And you could call me crazy, but we had Brandon Echols, a 6th round pick back in 2020 start for us.
Okay.
6th round pick starting week 1. And I know the New York Jets were very thin at cornerback that year, but we're thin at safety this year. It's almost the same thing. I mean, the other guy he's competing with was literally an undrafted free agent last year. I mean, in terms, Jack Bernard Converse has a better resume than Tony Adams, even though Adams does have more NFL experience than him. So it's a 6th round pick versus an undrafted free agent, unless we sign an actual veteran in free agency, which we will talk about later. But still, Jack Bernard Converse definitely a guy that can potentially come in, impact day 1. We know Robert Saleh is a beast when it comes to developing this late round talent, getting those guys to produce. So we just have to wait and see what Converse does. And then Zach Kuntz, athletic freak, a guy worth taking the 7th round flyer on. And you mentioned undrafted free agents, was a huge fan of Trey Dean. I mean, we mocked him like a ton in the mock drafts we did on this very show. I don't think he makes the final 53 just because we have all that talent, strong safety. But definitely a guy we could stash in the practice squad. Maybe he could make a potential impact year 2 in the NFL, or if we have injuries down the line. He's a great tackler. He can guard those tight ends, and also he's great on special teams. So, guy that can make an impact. And I'm always a sucker for those undrafted free agent wide receivers. I'm a sucker for them. Jason Brownlee was like the high profile when we signed. I'm not too high on him. But TJ Luther, Xavier Gibson, the FCS wide receivers we signed, I mean, the dudes were studs last year. They had eerily similar production. I think one had more touchdowns than the other. One had more receiving yards, but they were like very similar in terms of their stats. Both are very similar in terms of players as well. They both have that big playability. Both are extremely fast. Gibson's a bit more faster, offers more in the return game. But then Luther, he can make those contested catches, and he's more of a big play threat. So wouldn't be surprised if one of them – well, I wanted one of them to make the 53, but now that we signed Randall Cobb, I doubt that's much of a possibility. But overall, thought the New York Jets did a nice job in this year's NFL draft, just getting pieces for the future, getting guys, that can be depth pieces for us right now. So it was an overall solid B draft for the New York Jets. Mid-Italy Jet on the same page right here. But of course, right after the NFL draft, Joe Douglas didn't take a break, didn't take himself a mini vacation. He went right to work. His New York Jets have been the busiest team after the draft, signing not one, not two, but
True.
three free agents, which is almost the same amount of free agents we signed before the NFL draft when free agency was relevant. I mean, Alan Lazard, Quentin Jefferson,
So funny.
Tim Boyle, the free agents we signed after the draft are probably going to have a bigger impact than the guys we actually signed before the. Like, it's insane how Joe Douglas works the free agency after the draft. But what are your thoughts on the three free agents we signed? Billy Turner, Al Woods, and Randall Cobb, the man himself.
He wanted to go cheaper. That's what he did. Afterwards,
Oh, yeah.
that's what he did. He went cheaper. Al Woods, I've been praying for that to come, and I got it. Turner, I'm happy with the Turner one. Cobb, I could take it or leave it. People are saying it's a huge upgrade. People are excited about Randall Cobb. And I'm over here like, yeah, he's an upgrade over Barrios. Yeah, he's going to be a very good mentor for Hardman. I think it's going to be a very good slot dynamic duo in the slot. But overall, I could have taken it or leaving it. I think Mims or Corey Davis is going to be, unfortunately, I think they're going to be on the trading block. And I can't really see them being here. They're going to take one or the other. I really think it's going to be one or the other. I don't think it's going to be the full. Both of them are going to be there because now we got Cobb, we got Hardman, you got Wilson, and you got Lazard. That's 4. So New York Jets usually have 6, right? They usually have 6, maybe 5 sometimes, right? So it's just going to be very.
The thing is, we normally have one guy play special teams too.
See, and that's why we have that 6th guy.
Right.
So, and then training camp comes, some of them could steal the job. So it's just going to be very interesting. I don't know. I don't really know what's going to happen with that. But Al Woods, I'm on board.
Oh, yeah.
Give me Al Woods all day long, man. He's a monster truck. He's a freaking monster truck. He is known in the league for being disruptive. He is known for in the league for just watch out because Al Woods is coming. He's very big. He's very powerful. He puts people on their asses. So I'm happy, man. I'm happy with Al Woods. Hey, what's up, Porto? Me and Porto got some things in the works, so good stuff, Porto.
Nice to see you in the chat, man. How are you doing? And you're asking how we're doing, but how are you doing? That's the most important question. How are you doing, Porto? But as my thoughts for free agency, I mean, it was definitely surprising to see the New York Jets make 3 signings, 2 in one day, not even a week after the NFL draft. Definitely surprising. The Billy Turner signing got me, bit by surprise just because the New York Jets kept 4 offensive tackles on the roster most of last year. Now we're going to have 5 with Mitchell, Warren, Dwayne Brown, Mekhi Becton, and of course now Billy Turner. It makes, from like a statistical standpoint, from all this, 53-man roster standpoint, makes it crowded. We're going to have too many offensive tackles, but can you really have too many offensive tackles, especially after what happened with the Jets last year? Like, offensive tackle, we had a new one every week. Like, we had Elijah Bear Tucker for a few weeks, and then we had Dwayne Brown, and then Cedric Ogbuehi pops up, Mike Reynolds pops up, like Max Mitchell pops up, George Fair pops up.
Like, stop the madness! Stop!
It was insane. A new tackle every week, it felt like, for the New York Jets. Now this way, people might be like, well, we're going to have 5 tackles on the roster. Where eventually, I mean, if the injuries were to happen again, that's so much we had last year. And I hope to God the injuries don't happen. Some of these guys on the roster might not even see the field each week, or maybe even the season, just because of how the injuries could play out. But better safe than sorry. I mean, I would rather have a solid, capable backup in Billy Turner, someone that's familiar with Nathaniel Hackett's offense, someone that has allowed 2 sacks last year, started 50 games over the past 4 years, than some random guy off of one of the worst teams in the NFL practice squad, or something like that. I mean, Cedric Ogbuehi was a nice player for the New York Jets last year, and it was Rush. But, I wouldn't want the New York Jets middle of the season while playoff hopes are on the line to go out, claim this random tackle off of some team's practice squad and have him be the starter the very next week. I'd much rather have a tested NFL veteran who's about to play his 10th year in the NFL. That's the type of guys you would want backing up the offensive tackle. So the Billy Turner signing, while it was a bit shocking, it makes things a little crazy and, all winded up from a,
I like it, though.
53-man roster standpoint. It's a better safe than sorry move. So definitely a solid one by the Jets. Randall Cobb,
Yeah.
we knew it was going to happen.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was
It was only a
reported
matter
that
of time. It was
it
only a
was
matter
only
of
a matter
time.
of time. Like, we knew the New York Jets were going to add him. I wasn't surprised when I saw the news. I was like, okay, it's about time the New York Jets added Randall Cobb. And he's one of Rodgers' guys. Him and Rodgers have a great connection. Porter
True.
saying Jude spitting facts. I like to think the same thing myself, man.
You ain't spitting no facts. Not even close.
Oh,
Porto doesn't even spit facts, so it's all good. He knows. He knows.
yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah, but Cobb, Cobb, he's one of Rodgers' guys. They have a great connection. He has familiar in Hackett's system. He had 417 yards last year, 1 touchdown, 34 catches. He's just a solid slot receiver. I know a lot of people, whenever we signed him, and what made me laugh was everyone saying, oh, Corey Davis is like going to get traded. Expect Corey Davis to get released right now. And while I feel like a move could be made, a move's not going to be made unless we don't get someone else to come in and replace him as a starter.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's dumb.
It's like
dumb.
Randall Cobb was not brought in to replace Corey Davis, at all.
No.
Cobb's about to enter his age 33 season, his 13th season in the NFL. 13th season, like he's an old guy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a chance he doesn't even suit up for half the games of the Jets this year. I mean, it just depends. You never know because the Jets dressed out 5 receivers the past few years, and Cobb isn't going to offer much on special teams. So you never know what the New York Jets could do. But it's a 1-year deal. He's a veteran guy that could, as you said, mentor McCole Hardman, mentor Garrett Wilson, all these younger players in the room. Having that presence would be key. And having a backup that has chemistry with Aaron Rodgers is, huge. Knows the system. I mean, you're plugging in this backup. It's just awesome. And then out Woods, we needed interior defensive tackle help like bad.
Yeah.
We needed another guy. Woods is a fantastic run stuffer, and we needed a run stuffing defensive tackle because everyone we had was primarily pass rushers. Quentin Williams, he was great on run defense, but he's mainly a pass rusher. Quentin Jefferson's mainly a pass rusher. Solomon Thomas mainly a pass rusher.
Yeah.
And even, the edge rusher hybrid DTs we have in Michael Clemens and Jerron Franklin Myers, they're mainly pass rushers. We didn't have a run stuffer. So now we have that in Al Woods, and that was a huge hit for the Jets. Jiggaman Porto in the comments saying there's no downside of Cobb joining us. The veteran presence will be huge as far as Corey Davis. We will love him. We will love him again with A-Rod passing to him.
I mean, I already love him. He's on my wall, so it doesn't really matter to me. But I want him here. I want him here badly. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Corey Davis is a guy the New York Jets should keep. I mean, he's a guy the Jets should keep. And it's nice to see that everyone is thinking the same thing. And I doubt that Corey Davis is going to get traded to the Atlanta Falcons tomorrow for a 5th-round pick. And
I've been hearing that too, yeah.
Right. It's always he's going back to the Titans. He's going to the Falcons. I've been hearing that the entire offseason, even the Packers as a team, because, Matt LaFleur, I want to say he worked with in Tennessee for a few years. So it's like all these teams that have connections to him, but it's like Robert Saleh, Joe Douglas want him back. We tried to trade him during the draft. I don't know if you saw that or not.
We
tried to
did.
trade him. The teams don't want to pick up. And
Lawson.
Right, and Lawson. And it seems like the Jets wanted a day 2 pick. Because we didn't try to trade him day 3. We wanted to trade him day 2 to get some of that capital back, get potentially another 2nd, another 3rd, and the Jets didn't get offered anything more than that, so we declined the trade. So it's highly doubtful to me that the Jets are going to trade Corey Davis to the Falcons for a 5th-round pick. When, who knows, the Atlanta Falcons could have offered the New York Jets that during the draft, and we declined. So it's highly doubtful that Corey Davis or Carl Lawson are moved for day 3 capital. And we know Joe Douglas isn't a huge valuer of day 3 picks either. Unless he can flip them for somewhere. Because, once he gets them, he sends them off to another team for something. That's just what Joe Douglas does. Because we got all those picks during that 2022 season, and we didn't end up with none of them. We just shipped them off. Because that's what Joe Douglas does. So as free agency is of course, going on, there's still a ton of players left to be free agents. And we know Joe Douglas is going to want to stay active in this free agency market.
True.
Who else would you want the New York Jets to sign? Because we still have some needs on the roster. Yes. So who would you want to kind of help fill out the roster as a Jet?
Man, I get Quan back in the building and get me a veteran safety. I don't know who it's going to be, but I want another veteran safety, and also sign Quinnen.
Right.
That's it. Sign Quinnen. Give me anybody a linebacker, but I prefer Quinnen. And then you're going to give me a safety. I would get Rodney McLeod over Johnson. I know McLeod very well. I met him when I worked for the Rams, so
Oh, awesome.
it was great guy. Just like Joyner, I met Joyner as well. Now they were good when they were the Rams, but when they moved elsewhere, they were better. So now it's like, okay, I'm more familiar with McLeod, and I think McLeod being in here would be better. So give me a veteran safety, give me a veteran linebacker, and then sign Quedin. That's what they need to do before OTAs, honestly.
Right. I mean, the Jets need to do that pretty soon. Quincy, I did say in his presser today, said that Quinnen is about to have his baby. So
Right. 3 weeks, 2 to
right,
3 weeks.
2 to 3 weeks. So that's happening pretty soon. And congratulations to Quentin Williams on that too. That's an absolutely huge accomplishment. Wish all the best wish all the luck in the world to you and your family. So I
agree.
doubt we're gonna see an extension happen in that time frame. I don't think it's gonna happen in May, just because
Really? Okay.
3 weeks could be the end of May. And as I said,
True.
I think this happens in June. I said that last
Okay.
week. And I
Okay.
think it happens in June. Next month is June. I feel like this extension happens in June before training camp. That's just what I think, because we know Joe Douglas likes to make those moves late in the offseason, and we still have to figure things out with the Aaron Rodgers, trading, or we already had the trade figured out, his salary, because as of now he's due $100 million next year, and as of now the Jets currently have
Woo.
we're $24 million over the cap next year, so we need to clear up that, and then once we clear that up, once
Right.
Quentin has his baby, or once Quentin's wife has his baby, then once that happens, then we can expect to see this extension done. So Jets fans, don't be banging on the doors from One Jets Drive saying, "Why isn't Quentin extended?" It's gonna happen. Just give
It'll
it some
happen.
time. It'll happen.
Listen, it'll happen. It's just it's at that point right now where I don't think I don't think he goes to OTAs. I think he'll be signed in June or July, the latest,
Right.
in my personal opinion. I don't think in May. I'll be shocked if he's here in May. I think Joe Douglas is going to address other needs before talking to Quinn, because we finally got Aaron Rodgers. We still need to discuss contract stuff there and how many years he's going to be here. But I think we're only focused on his contract for this year only. But once we get all these other weapons, then they're going to put their full focus to Quinn. That's just what I think in June and July. If it's sooner, hey, that just works out better for me. But it works out better for you. But I just can't see it anytime soon.
Yeah, me neither. And what's interesting too is because whenever this whole Aaron Rodgers cap situation was going on, they were like, Connor Hughes was like, "Wait till you see the restructured contract, right?" I don't know if we've seen that restructured contract yet. Maybe him only having $1 million cap hit was that restructured contract, but I don't think we've seen it yet. But we know it's going to be
exactly.
good.
Exactly.
Right. We know it's going to be good. It's going to help the New York Jets. Like Connor, you said, add more players to this team so he can help the New York Jets win a Super Bowl. And we already seen the New York Jets go sign Billy Turner. We signed Randall Cobb. We signed Al Woods. We signed those players to help the New York Jets won a Super Bowl. And maybe after we sign Quan Alexander, potentially a veteran safety, then we're going to see this contract for Aaron Rodgers just happen. It's going to be signed up. His cap hit might increase this year. And then we're going to see the Quentin Williams contract happen. And then everything's going to be good. And the New York Jets fans and the New York Jets themselves can relax. Joe Douglas finally can take himself a vacation because he desperately needs one. And this whole thing can be over with. And you mentioned Rodney McLeod as a safety you want to sign, and I'm in the same boat with you. I was thinking I was going to surprise you by saying Rodney McLeod, but we are on the same page, man. I'm a huge fan of Rodney McLeod. I remember I did a video before free agency.
You did.
And I was like, I said 3 players the Jets should sign at every position in need. Safety, I mentioned Rodney McLeod. Just because this dude, he was like under the radar last year.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right. Pro Football Focus had the seventh
He
highest
was
rated safety.
he was great with the Eagles.
Right. He's great with the Eagles. I mean, he's always been he's 32 years old, but he's still playing great. You
Yeah, he's
know,
still playing fine.
he's still playing great. And Lamarcus Joyner, the Jets aren't ashamed of having an old safety play for them. Lamarcus Joyner was like 32, 33 last year. We are confident that those guys can go out there and play. And Rodney McLeod, he played free safety for most of his career, but he also had some reps at strong safety this year with the Colts. And he excelled in that versatile role. We know the Jets like to be versatile with their safeties. So Rodney McLeod just makes too much sense for the New York Jets, when it comes to scheming and all this stuff. So I really hope the New York Jets can bring him in because whatever contract he signs is not going to be for a crazy amount of money, especially with how the safety market played out this off season. I mean, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson only got $6.5 million, so we're probably going to see Ryan McCollum sign for probably only 3 to 4 million.
I agree.
Right. I mean, it's going to be more than the veteran minimum. But it's probably going to be somewhere around 2.5 to 4.5 million. Is kind of what I'm thinking for a contract for McLeod. But if we can do that, of course, sign Quan Alexander, extend Quinnen Williams, the New York Jets off season is complete.
No,
We-
agreed.
Right. It's
Agreed.
complete. We got ourselves.
Hands down. Hands down.
This team is complete. It really would be if the New York Jets were to do all of that. So
And what was really funny about the Quan, what he just texted me, Quan did not text me. I'm
I
sorry.
was like,
Sorry.
oh, no,
Well,
yeah.
my bad. Tweeted. He just tweeted about 7 minutes ago that Becton was saying Quan. I say yo. And then Quan Alexander was like, haha, what's up, brother? They got my number. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like one of those like Quinnen Williams tweets, right?
Right, where you're like
Optimistic. I'm
Right.
like, come on, man.
tipping the feet.
Jeez. We don't need that. But it's fun. It's fun. That's just the world and social media is nowadays. But I'm
Right.
happy with it. I hope it happens soon.
And I feel like this Quan move does happen because it seems to be mutual, and we know the Jets players want him back. Like all these players saying tweets like, "Yo, Quan, get back!" And they're saying in all these videos like, "All right, we're gonna get." I think DJ Reed in his draft video said, "Oh, we got the pressure off the edge. We gonna extend Q. We gonna sign Kawhi." I don't know if he said the Kawhi part, but I'm pretty sure it was said in there somewhere. I don't know. I remember a Jets fan talking about Kawhi Alexander and mentioned him, and it seems like they want him back. I mean, he was a great energy guy for the team last year. Definitely someone that we needed help teach all the linebackers that Salah system, which he ran great in San Francisco. So there's just a lot
Sure.
that Quan Alexander brings to this team as a real linebacker. He was awesome last year. We get him back. That's a missing piece of this defense. It would be great. And another thing, Quan Alexander was injury prone when the Jets signed, and that was one of my main concerns when we got him. But he played in every game for the Jets last year. Those injuries were out the window. So it seems like he's now healthy. He wants to be here. And like we talked about it last week. I mean, he was posting pictures with the Joe Namath shirt on Instagram. He this fan on Twitter, he retweeted a fan that was just like, Juan, you're coming back, and he responded with those eyes emojis. We talked about that last week and everything. So it seems
It's
like
social media, man.
to social media. So it seems like this is going to happen, and I really just hope the New York Jets can do this to complete the offseason. Once again, wouldn't be surprised if Jarek Bernard versus the New York Jets starting free safety week 1, and we have Tony Adams as a backup. Or the Jets might even pull in Jason Pinnock and cut Tony Adams. I don't know what Joe Douglas is thinking. I just think he needs a vacation. But I just think he needs one. He deserves one. But I think he got more bought over the whole offseason, just trying to get the Aaron Rodgers trade done. So Joe Douglas just finish this offseason out, extend Q, we'll be good to go. But Italy Jet, as the stream is starting to come to a close, give us your closing thoughts. Closing thoughts, one last thing to say, could be about anything Jets related. Give it to us.
I get a B on the draft. I love our future. I love what we're putting in free agency. Thank you to Porto for joining us. We have a lot of things coming up with me and Porto, so check that out. Me and Jude have a lot of stuff that's happening as well. Yeah. Also, love if we got a linebacker, safety, and extend Quinnen I'm Italy Jet. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and WhatsApp. And yeah, I'm all over the place.
Porter, appreciate you. Appreciate you a lot, man, for tuning into the stream. It really means a lot to us, and hope to see you again sometime soon. And what you nearly Jet got cooking out is definitely some big eyes. Definitely some big eyes, you know. Right there. Got the big eyes. Love this emoji. And Porto says definitely calling you on as a guest, Jude, for sure. Same thing for you, man. Sometime this off season, we're gonna have you on the show. We're gonna have you on the show. Everything's gonna be great. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. And my closing thoughts, big eyes. That's just my closing thoughts right here. The big eyes. That's what I'm going with. Get this done, Joe Douglas. Let's
Hey,
do it.
as Friday night said, clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose.
Exactly. Preach. Preach, brother. Amen. Thank you. I'm going with all these Jet social media antics right here for my closing
You
thoughts.
really
Man,
are,
social media is awesome. Alrighty. We're not done with closing thoughts, of course, Lee Jet. I know you're a busy man. Let's go ahead and plug the socials. Let's go ahead and get that with.
What?
I'm saying, I know you got to plug the socials. So.
Oh, sorry. I'm looking at Dakota. Dakota commented. There we go. Good stuff. Good stuff. I love it. Dakota, Super Bowl caliber team in the making. Yes. It is. Do a lot of Jets soccer and baseball content each week. Do about 9 to 15 shows a week, but I got it all under control. And also, appreciate Dakota and Porto and you, Jude, as well. Italy Jet on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and WhatsApp. That's me, Italy Jet.
Yeah, I appreciate Porto, Dakota, Italy Jet for you hopping on the stream once again. I mean, always just an awesome place, and hopefully we can see you guys next week. Dakota's going crazy with all these Jets editions that we made this off season. Absolutely love it. But we will see you guys next week on Wednesday, 6:30, or just 6 Central. But we'll see you guys. Peace.
Here comes the